Daniel awoke to the same routine he had lived for years. The shrill ring of his alarm at precisely 6 a.m., the same mindless scroll through his phone, the same sip of bitter coffee that had long lost its flavor. As he stared into the bathroom mirror, he saw tired eyes reflecting a man who felt like a prisoner in his own life. Something felt off, though he couldn't quite place it. The city outside bustled in perfect synchrony, a mechanical rhythm of bodies moving from one place to another. He boarded the subway, observing the same blank expressions. He had a nagging feeling, like déjà vu stretched across weeks, months, maybe years. It wasn't just a repetition of life. It was something deeper, something unsettling. Then came the first crack in reality. One night he bolted upright in bed, his heart hammering. A dream had startled him, a memory, or was it? A moment from his childhood, vivid and real, yet somehow altered. The toy he distinctly recalled holding in an old photograph was missing. He checked the actual photograph, and sure enough, it was different from his recollection. Confusion turned to dread. At first, he dismissed it as his imagination playing tricks on him. But then, the world around him began shifting in small, unnoticeable ways. Conversations replayed like a loop. Advertisements seemed to predict his thoughts before he even spoke them. Even his old journal entries didn't match his memories. His reality was warping, and he was the only one who seemed to notice. Then she appeared. It happened in a quiet bookstore. A woman, sharp-eyed, deliberate, slipped a note into his hand before disappearing into the crowd. His pulse quickened as he unfolded the paper, reading the 3 haunting words. "Wake up, Daniel." His hands trembled. On the back of the note was an address. He had 2 choices: ignore it and return to his routine, or follow the thread unraveling before him. The suffocating weight of his unease made the decision for him. The address led him to a dimly lit cafe on the outskirts of the city. The place was nearly empty, except for a small group in the back, their voices hushed. When he stepped inside, the woman from the bookstore motioned for him to sit. "You feel it too, don't you?" she said. "That sense that everything around you is scripted, that your choices aren't really yours?" His breath caught in his throat. She introduced herself as Mara and revealed the unsettling truth. The world, she explained, was an illusion. History rewrote itself in real time. People's memories shifted without their awareness, and an unseen force shaped their reality. They were being controlled, manipulated, distracted. Daniel wanted to deny it, to fight against the absurdity of it all. But deep down, he already knew she was right. "Most people never wake up," Mara continued. "They accept their routines, their programmed lives. But you saw through it. That's why you're here." The group showed him the evidence. News headlines that had changed overnight. People remembering events that had supposedly never happened. The eerie synchronicity of their daily lives. It was undeniable now. Daniel's mind reeled. If what she was saying was true, then who was controlling it? And why? "The system," Mara said, as if reading his thoughts. "It's not just a government or some secret society. It's deeper, more ingrained. It's been here for centuries, evolving, adapting. Every time someone gets too close to the truth, reality adjusts, just enough to keep them blind." His stomach twisted. Then, "How do we fight it?" Mara leaned in. "We don't fight it. We outthink it." She slid a small metallic device across the table. "This will allow you to see the anomalies. But once you see them, the system will see you too. You have to be ready." Daniel hesitated. His entire life had felt like a fog, a series of empty choices. Now, for the first time, he felt something real. A choice that actually mattered. He took the device. That night, as he lay in bed, he hesitated before activating it. His fingers hovered over the button. Once he did this, there was no going back. Finally, he pressed it. The world around him flickered. His walls rippled like water. Objects in his room distorted, shifting between forms. His reflection in the mirror blinked. But he hadn't. He gasped, stumbling backward. The city outside his window looked different, like a film set, with pieces of the skyline vanishing and reappearing. The people on the street below moved in strange, repeated patterns, their conversations looping. He turned to his phone. His messages were changing in real time, words rewriting themselves. A message popped up from an unknown number. "You shouldn't have done that." His blood ran cold. A noise outside, footsteps, approaching fast. Daniel's heart pounded as he grabbed his bag and bolted out the door. If everything was a lie, if the system had been watching him, then staying here meant death, or worse. He had to find Mara. He had to learn the truth. The night air was thick with tension as he disappeared into the darkness, his mind racing. Was he truly waking up? Or was this just another layer of the illusion?